Hi teachers! In this video, we're going to talk about how you can make a worksheet interactive using Google Slides and Google Canvas app. So I'm going to begin by just going to my slides, my Google Slides. So a shortcut to that is you can just type in slides.new into your address bar and hit enter, and it'll create a blank slideshow, and I can show you how to organize that and put it where you want it to go on your drive in a minute. Okay, so once this is loading, or once this is finished loading, I'm going to start by going to Layout and clicking Blank, because I like to work with a blank canvas. And then I'm going to want this to be the size of a paper, so I'm going to go to File and Page Setup. And I'm going to change my setup to 8.5 by 11. So just your standard sheet of paper. So let's say I found a worksheet online or through one of our curriculum websites, or just any PDF, and I want to make that interactive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find me a worksheet, and I just found one online that I'm going to use as an example. So I have here a third grade science worksheet that I want to make this interactive. So what you're going to do is you can take a screen capture. On a PC, you can just use the snippet tool. On a Mac or a Chromebook, there is a keyboard shortcut that I can post in the comments so you can see how to make that screen capture with a Mac or a Chromebook. So I'm just going to do a screen capture. And I'm just going to take the part of the worksheet that I want to use and just take a picture of it, and it'll save it to your computer. Most of the time it'll go to your downloads for you to get. So I'm going to go back to my blank slideshow. Oops, not that one. I'm going to go back to my blank slideshow, and instead of taking that picture and just dragging it onto your slide, because the downside of doing that is the students can move it and get all messed up. So instead of doing that, you're going to want to make it your background. So click on background, and I'm going to choose an image, and I'm going to upload it from my computer. And then there it is on my desktop, my little screen capture that I just took. I'm going to hit open. And then done. So now students can't move this around. It's not going to go anywhere, so it won't get messed up. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is just put some directions for your students. And this is something that you can do in the instructions or the directions in your Google Classroom when you post it, but you can also just put it here for them to refer back to. So I'm going to put drag the circles to the correct answer. Now let's do this for each question. Drag the circles to the correct answer. I'm going to make this nice and big, and if you know me, it has to be a pretty font. Okay, so I want to resize this, so this is just the right size of the text box. And then I'm going to go ahead and make those circles for my students. So for your more advanced students, you could just make one, make it a transparent inside and red on the outside, make it nice and bold so it stands out. You can teach them, they can just copy and paste another one, or you can use your shortcuts on your keyboard by just making a duplicate. These are tips and tricks that I'm going to teach the students during the enrichment time. So I wouldn't stress over them not knowing how to do these just yet. I'm going to be working with them and creating tutorials for parents like I'm doing for you. So let's say when your students open this up in their Google Classroom, there's their directions. All they have to do is drag and drop. So this is determining if the magnets are going to repel or attract, and they would just drag their answer where they wanted it to go. Oh, they're dragged. and then they're done. And then they would turn in their, we're going to do a sample. So that was just one way that you can use Google Classroom. I'm sorry, your Google Slides to post into your Google Classroom to make a worksheet interactive. So another way using slides, again, I'm going to go to a blank canvas here. If there was another website or another worksheet, for example, if I wanted something a little bit more fill in the blank, you can take that screen capture again and just grab what you want. And I'll show you how to make a fill in the blank with the slides. So I'm going to take my screen capture. Remember, you don't want to drag it because it's just going to make it move everything around. So you want it to make your backdrop. And hit done. So now they can't move anything around. So it's nice and locked in there. Now I do want to create them a text box for them to type into. So you're going to click on the text box, make it the size of the blank, and you can always just test it out by making it the size you want it to be. So that looks like it completes the sentence, the word just fine. I'm going to change the color so it'll stand out, make it bold. So if a student clicks on this, they're not going to see that right there. So what you're going to want to do is create an outline so it stands out a little bit. So now you can see the box that they're going to fill in their answer. And I also like to give it a fill color. So let's say I wanted this to be yellow, but you can customize it and make it a little bit transparent like this. And so now they just know when they're ready to work, they can click in this box, type the U, and click out. So they're done. So I would go ahead and finish your worksheet by creating these boxes for each space so they know exactly where to put their answer. Oops. And again, I would not stress over the students not knowing everything all at once. Like I said, I am going to be doing some training with them during their enrichment time. And if you needed to resize the boxes for each one, you can. But that's why I make it kind of like a highlighter so they'll still be able to see underneath that box. So you would just continue filling that in for your students. And we'll have another video explaining Google Classroom where you can post your assignment in Google Classroom, or you can post this worksheet in Google Classroom for them to complete. All right, so I'm going to switch over to the Google Canvas app. So that's the same thing. You can go to canvas.apps.chrome. And this is an app that is already built in onto your tablet that you're going to have, and I'll show you how you can use that in your classroom as well. So the Google Slides is a great example of if that's something you wanted the students to complete independently. If you are working on that same worksheet as a whole group or in a small group instruction and you wanted it projected on your board, you can use the Canvas app. So if you do a new drawing, it's just going to create a blank canvas for you to write on with your stylist. But I like to do create new with drawing, or with image, I apologize. And with this, oh, did I hit new drawing. I'm going to hit new from image. And I'm going to take that same fill in the blank worksheet. And so now this is saved as an image. So for example, if I have my tablet and I have this projected up onto my screen, I can write using these tools directly onto this worksheet. So just a couple of tips and tricks. If you want your pen size to be a little bit thicker or a different color, You can do that. And so now you can see that I can write on there. It's a little hard with mouse. It's much easier with a stylus. And then, or you can change your different pens if you want a marker or pencil. They show up just a little bit different. So that looks more like a pencil. I like the pen. So let's say you're finished with it. You want to erase it. This is your eraser tool. This is changing the size of it for that particular tool. So I want my eraser nice and big so it doesn't take me forever to erase that for the next class. So now when I go back to my home page of my Canvas, it's still going to be there and I can go back and continue to use that. You can also duplicate it if you wanted to have one for each class. And then just you can either change the name of it or delete it if you're finished. So however is best for you for your classroom. So this is just another one that I created as this was a PDF that I just added to, saved as an image, and now I can write on it for my class. If I have all the writings and I go back to the home, it's going to save that. It's going to save my work. So if you wanted to keep that for each classroom and make a duplicate for each class, you can, or you can erase it in between classes. So that's how you can use the Canvas app to make a worksheet interactive if you're using a worksheet whole group or small group and you want it projected onto your board. So that's just 2 ways that you can make a worksheet interactive using Google Slides and the Google Canvas app. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.